It's a recorded picture company.
Excellent. Jeremy Thomas, a very fine producer, I'm told. I think if it wasn't for Jeremy, we wouldn't be sitting here today.
Capri Films.
Capri. I will be going there later in the year for a wonderful festival in Capri, not in Canada.
This must be a Hanway film.
Well, it's certainly quiet at the start, isn't it? Hanway Films, these are the people that have distributed it to the world, or at least sold it to the distributors who didn't distribute it to the world.
This is good about the commentary. It tells you things you didn't know.
We can just sit here
in the
dark.
Now. This is darkness.
Exactly. I mean, I think, Jeliza-Rose is probably babbling on, but it's our chance to babble on without having to be distracted by imagery.
I'll ask you a question, Terry. When did you first come across the novel by Mitch Cullin, I think?
Well, this is the thing we've been talking about only a moment ago, and we can't remember at our age.
We can't remember at your age, you mean?
Yes, exactly. So it was well before Brothers Grimm, so we're talking about 2001 or 2.
There's some seaweed coming up on the screen.
And I remember passing it on to you because I thought it was extraordinary, and I passed it on to you, and what did you think?
I thought it was extraordinary too.
Okay, then we passed it on to Jeremy Thomas, and what did he think?
Everyone thought it was a very extraordinary film.
Exactly. And
so book.
And because it was a cheapish film, we thought we could raise the money quite easily, but lo and behold, not so. Why?
I don't know. I think I remember the best thing about reading the book was Jeliza-Rose's voice, wasn't it? Is that Mitch had got it 190% right. It was perfect.
I mean, this is what's extraordinary, that you've got a almost middle-aged man writing a little child, a little girl.
Better than a little girl could.
Exactly. Well, he did when we finally met him. He admitted he was Jeliza-Rose. And in fact, many of the characters in the book and then now in the film were based on characters in his own life.
I thought they were all based on him. I thought he was every single one of those characters.
No, I think Dell was his grandmother. But
Dell was Mitch's grandmother.
Yeah, that's what he says.
God.
What should we say about
he turned out well.
Jodelle? This film wouldn't have been made without Jeremy Thomas or without Jodelle Ferland. I mean, we were in pre-production with only a few weeks, I think it was about 5 weeks to go before we started shooting, and I still hadn't found Jodelle.
How many girls did you see altogether?
I myself probably saw over a dozen, but the casting director had seen many, many, many more. And they were all really good. We had to work with Canadian actors because of the funding for the film. We were only able to bring in Jeff as an American. So it was either Canadian or British. And I was really worried that we weren't going to be able to find that girl in Canada. And then at the very last moment, this tape came in, little black and white video of this, and amongst the many girls on it was this little incredible ball of energy, and just leapt into the scene with such passion. And I said, this has got to be worth meeting, and did. And she was better than one had hoped for. I think that's my favorite cut in the movie. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I think you might as well go home now, because it's all downhill after this. That was everything I've ever wanted to do.
It's the subtlety of that cut, I think, which is great, isn't it?
I mean, the wonderful thing is Jeff has always wanted to be a rock and roll star. He's done his own albums, but this is the first chance he really got to play a rock and roller in a film, at least for a brief moment. The unfortunate thing, when he arrived to do that scene, which is right at the end of the shoot, he had damaged his back somewhere during the shooting of the film, and we had to brace him up, and we were almost not going to be able to do it, but he's a pro. He went out there and gave pain to the audience.
I love the way she does all this cooking up drug stuff without batting an eyelid. She really is just in the kitchen cooking away for Dad and Mum, isn't she?
I think that's right. I mean, what I find extraordinary is how so many people can't see beyond the surface of what's going on here. A little girl preparing heroin. They can't see that the scene that we're in here is about relationships between the different mother, father, and daughter, and it's really very much about a daughter in love with her father. Totally.
I mean, it's wonderful. She's such a dad's girl, and she gives him so many little looks all the time. And she plays cute all the time. And of course, there's nothing cute about the character or Jodelle at all. She's, I think that's one of the great things about that performance there is just how unsentimental it is. I think it's wonderful.
Well, I think that's why we're criticized as well, because people have gotten so used to thinking little girls in difficult and dire situations are supposed to be weeping and sobbing and tearing their hair out and being dramatic, and I don't think kids are. They don't know. I think it's interesting, again, people will say, oh, that scene where she injects her father. She doesn't inject her father. She's just doing what a good daughter does, helping, get whatever chemicals that your parents need to get you through the day. I keep saying, okay, what if she was preparing insulin for a diabetic father? Oh, that would be all right. But then they say, but insulin doesn't do what heroin does to you.
Which is why it's got such a low street value, I suppose.
I think that's it. That's why I got out of that business of selling insulin on street corners.
I know. You've given that up now, though.
But you know what's weird is, the people respond about the awful parents. Well, what's awful about these parents? The fact that dad drifts off occasionally is no worse than how many other parents that aren't around to see their kids that are off, drinking themselves sick.
Yeah, beer and telly,
Yeah. And yet somehow heroin is so verboten in a situation where a child is concerned that they can't see beyond. It's a sad, sad statement about the state of society and people in it at the moment. They're trapped in buzzwords.
Schlepping around trying to get someone interested in putting money into the script. And there were sort of bad reactions to it from various people. People didn't like the idea that this child was involved in the drugs thing, and they just generally they didn't like the fact the child was they felt was so endangered. But you didn't get any of that from Jodelle or her mother or anything, did you?
No, I mean, that was really important. Valerie, Jodelle's mother, was really essential because she was completely supportive. She understood what was going on. She worked very hard with Jodelle. And the thing with Jodelle, she's a little girl. None of these things resonate the way they do for adults. This is exactly the point of the film. It's, her innocence. Child's innocence isn't judging things in the way adults tend to. And it's I find it so interesting how difficult it is for so many adults to let go and be innocent again. They can only see all the negative qualities around this girl's life.
For sure. Although her one main imperative is about survival, isn't it? And that's the thing which comes over again and again. I remember talking to Mitch about stories that he had read, and when he started writing the book, and the stories about children surviving after one or more parent had died. And there was more than one story which is similar to this, where a child found themselves alone with a corpse of their parent.
Yeah,
surviving.
It's. I think adults are frightened of believing in any of that. And especially parents are frightened because they want to feel their children are dependent upon them.
So that makes them powerful, therefore.
Exactly.
She reads well.
She reads well, and she's got a relatively quiet audience. But it's a very sweet
I've seen
moment.
audiences like that.
Yeah. No, I think, when we made it, and when we were trying to raise the money, it was clear that, substantial people, men in power with money, were terrified of the idea of this film. They didn't understand it, where women tended to. And in fact, in the end, we were saved by a Canadian producer named Gabriella Martinelli, who went to this large Canadian company called Telefilm, who put a lot of money in, which was, again, run by a woman. They understood the movie. They understood what this character was about, and they weren't frightened of it. I think the important thing about casting Jeff was from the moment of reading the book, was Jeff was my first thought, because the character is a bit of an asshole. He's selfish. He's an ex-rock and roller. He's not the best person on the planet, and yet the audience has to love him.
Yeah, totally.
Like she does.
Best
You got to
joke.
understand it. A joke coming up.
One good joke.
Daddy,
Here it comes.
could you leave the light on tonight, please?
Sure, baby, you got it.
Brilliant. That is fantastic. Is that Jeff's line, or was that in the script?
Oh, that was scripted, that particular one. He
was
made
that
up all
your
the
line, or was that Mitch's line?
No, that was our line.
Our line.
Yes.
Fantastic. I'm glad somebody has a memory.
That was the only
here.
one, I think.
Was it?
I think she's. This is a performance without any modesty.
Well, this is the great thing about Jennifer and later on Janet. These are two brilliant actresses with no vanity. I mean, we built this prosthetic belly for Jennifer, which she was delighted to wear. She was actually delighted by the fact she didn't have to be beautiful, that she didn't have to be gorgeous. She could be an old hag. And she just grasped it. That death scene, we did 2 takes. I mean, that was the first day we worked with her. She came in there, lay on the bed, and died. And I said, fantastic. And I'll give you one more, she says. Now, I love this moment when she pulls the chocolate out. That was Jodell's breakthrough moment when we were rehearsing, because she was a little girl who had already done 25 films and television parts, but had never rehearsed. She didn't know what rehearsal meant. And she kept apologizing, and so did her mother, for her not being word perfect during rehearsal period, which was a couple of weeks before we started shooting. And I kept saying, no, this is time to play. This is the time to take chances. We'll discover each other and the characters. But this was something she wasn't used to. And it was only when Jeff arrived, and this was after the rehearsal period, and he turned up. She had no idea that he was a rather well-known movie star, just a guy who was playing her father. And he immediately took her into his caravan and said, leave me alone with her for 15 minutes, which some people might be questioning that moment.
Given the nature of the film, it didn't matter at all, did it?
But no, in fact, what he did is exactly what he should have done. He brought some games in and won her over in 15 minutes, and she was his daughter from that moment on. And that evening, the 3 of us went and rehearsed a scene, this particular scene, and it was the first time she came up with her own ideas. She goes, what if I bring the box of chocolate out from under the bed?
Smart.
And I thought at that moment, now we're all working together, and we're all playing, we're all throwing in our ideas, which has been the key to this film. It's so many people's ideas and involvement to get to these moments that occur.
I was talking to someone the other day, a producer, who was saying that they always know they've got a good film in their hands when everyone that comes to it is trying to make it their film. They're trying
Exactly.
to actually grab it and say, right, this film's all about the music, or this film's all about the costume, or whatever.
Yeah, well, this is one of my favorite scenes with Jeff. I mean, it's just an extraordinary performance, and just twisted, wired up. What was so interesting about Jeff, like everything he does so much work, such homework. He's almost boring to work with in the early stages, because it isn't instinctive, just flying out. He details everything. And we got an ex-junkie in who is now on methadone to work with him on what it's like, what the feeling of heroin high is. And when we started doing those takes with Jeff shooting up, the guy afterwards was just, his mouth was kind of drooling. He said, God, it felt so good watching Jeff do it. He brought back everything that it feels about. And he says, it almost makes me want to go back on the junk.
But it's amazing what he does as well, though, because he does all that preparation and he does that stuff for real. But then, he's got a whole speech to say as he's jacking up,
yep.
which isn't naturalistic at all. But he manages to put the two right side by side. I think it's an amazing thing.
No, he's one of the great actors out there, and I wish he was appreciated as such. I think he's just utterly amazing.
The shot.
The shot. Now, this was not in our script or Mitch's book. We shot this, I sent second unit out to get a shot of the bus going
Mitch,
by.
there is Mitch.
Mitch Cullin has just appeared in the film. Please stop the film and go on back. He's the guy in the chair. And
he gets another close-up, I think.
He does? Okay, good. Second unit went out and shot the bus passing under this underpass. I'd chosen the underpass, and the bus did it. And we needed a shot of just time passing and bus movement. And I hated it. It just was boring and tedious. And so, being silly, I said, why don't we just blot out the sky on the right-hand side of frame and put a moon there, so it's a day for night shot.
Yeah, but it also pasted over that crack about how long they've been travelling. Oh,
Exactly.
This is the first fart. This is when I'm going to turn this film off. I don't want to watch this anymore. Why should I watch a film with farts?
I don't blame you. You actually have a bit of French blood in you, I think, because this is one of the interesting reasons that they didn't really want us in Cannes with this film. The French distributor said, you can't have these farts in the film. We, as the French people, do not like farts. We don't find them funny. Obviously, their food does not produce gas because...
Maybe it's only in Cannes that there's no farting. There's no farting in Cannes.
It was quite extraordinary, his
In fact,
reaction
there's no
to
hot
it.
air of any kind in Cannes, I think.
Yeah.
I find.
And they spoke for the entire French nation, I believe. That was the scene that I screen tested Jodelle on, and why she got the job, because when he doubled over in real pain, where the other little actresses were slightly sympathetic to him, she just cut him dead. And the flash in her eyes from him embarrassing her was to kill. And I thought, wow, you have no idea how tiny this child is.
Is that it?
I love this reveal. And
Yeah,
this glorious walk towards the house with him.
this was, again, what was interesting about our prep time on this film. We only had a few weeks. It was the shortest prep I've ever been involved with, and we had to find everything very quickly. And this house was sitting in this location.
And I've read more than one review which talked about it as being a build. In fact, one of them was saying it's ridiculous. You would never find a house like that in that landscape.
Well, you could find a house 7/8 like that in that landscape. We put
Well,
that porch on.
Well, that's not bad, Terry.
Everything else was as was. That porch was on a house about a kilometer away, and I just thought it belonged better on ours. And it was done for a particular reason, because we've got to shoot all of this stuff in the house, which is a set, the interior. Most of it's a set. And when you're looking out the door and the windows, the awful thing is you've got all that landscape out there, which on a set with a painted backdrop, it's going to be given away. So I felt we've got to put a porch out there that allows us to obscure that. And also just made the house a little bit more twisted and disturbing. But we were so lucky with locations, because once we chose that, everything else fell into place. All the other locations we were within about 2 or 3 kilometers of that. It was the most wondrous valley. We're on a set now, but I think the transition from in and out is seamless. Jeff did something very funny, especially that opening the door, because he's playing a man who shows his teeth all the time, which reminded me of the only other person in films with Gilliam as the last name, Bert Gilliam, who was in Blazing Saddles during the farting scene in that one. And he always had his great teeth, and his upper teeth were always revealed by pulling his lip back, which is exactly what Jeff was doing.
This is one of my favourite scenes coming up. It's just her on her own in a second. And it's...
No, notice we're always twisting the camera.
Well, I was going to say, Nicola, and here Nicola goes, rushing back.
Yep. And that's a little girl lost, a little girl in a world that should be wondrous and is full of who knows what waiting for. But it's certainly not what Dad had been talking about for all those years.
She's not quite alone. She's got her friends, remember?
Oh, wait a minute, they're not out yet. But it was interesting. The room, in fact, is partially in the house on location and partially built. And it's the one on location is about only 2/3 the size of the one we built. And yet you never notice, I hope.
Here they come.
Yeah.
The 90, of course, the 90. It's Mum, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I just felt this. I can't remember about, that 90's in the book, isn't it? Something about it. I think it's the one thing she kept. Again, here's the audience saying, these awful parents, but clearly that mother meant something.
It's mother. It's the only one she had.
Yeah, or at least her mother's clothes meant something. Maybe she's just a clothes fetish.
There they are.
These dolls took quite a while to cast, because Jasna Stevanovic, who designed the film, gathered so many broken dolls to, and
it's a bad sign, blood, isn't it?
Oh, at that age, yeah. And we spent a very long evening casting those dolls, choosing which one to be which character. And for me, it was very interesting, because it brought out what the characters were and what they represented as aspects of Jeliza-Rose.
Yeah. I think they're wonderfully cast, but there's a trouble with their names, remember? Because in the book they're called names of Barbie dolls.
Which we couldn't use.
We weren't allowed to use.
Because
and they look totally unlike Barbie dolls now, don't they?
Exactly. So you have to change things to keep the lawyers happy. So
she does this well. This is...
Shall we? Oh, doctor. Doctor.
yeah.
the mirror.
The mirror, that mirror was very important, not only for Alice, because, again, we emphasize the Alice in Wonderland aspect of the book, just hopefully to help the audience know where we're going. Those are doubles for those hands. Those are Jeliza-Rose, a 9.5-year-old girl's hands preparing cinematic heroin. The happy face.
Smiley's great.
was Jeff's idea. What was wonderful about the happy coat he wears, which again, the costume was really, it's trickier than you think, and we spent a long time trying to find the right thing. And at the last moment, the costume people pulled out this happy coat, and Jeff smiled and put it on. And when we were in Japan promoting the film, I discovered what those mean, and they seem to be happiness, and the other one is something, again, a wonderful thing. And the Japanese found meaning to it that we didn't intend. But that's what's nice when you leave scraps of things around the place. People can add what they want to it. I think Michael's music here, Michael Downer's music is really wonderful.
That's special.
Distant sort of nautical bells and everything begins to shift.
I love this hand.
Well, again, the two moments of shooting up are identical in what Jeff does, basically, as far as his movements. Because I felt we had to make a dance between Jeliza-Rose and Noah. So she knows exactly when he's about to miss the ashtray.
Done it 1,000
cigarette.
times, yeah. But beautiful. And she does it so well again. What a good girl. It's dangerous to have her.
I wish I had a daughter like that. I'd get into drugs if I had a daughter like that. Isn't it weird how drugs keep turning up in our films and yet we don't take them? Yeah. I know.
It's always that question about people. Sometimes students, especially, watch Fear and Loathing, and think, "Oh, everyone was out of their mind on drugs." Like, imagine trying to make a film like that. There's no way you could.
No. I mean, it's just everything's done by professionals, trained.
They're all just trained professionals.
Again, where we're drifting with the camera and the tilting is, the world is just—it's like we're on board a ship. We're beginning to set sail, is the idea. And I think what I love about when people ask about how did you shoot those exteriors, how did you make them so beautiful? Well, the location, for one thing, is very beautiful. But it's the juxtaposition of what the openness of the outside and the simplicity and beauty of nature with the rotting interior of that house, which is like some smoker's lungs in there, and it's all decay and rot. And people are so delighted to get outside, and they give us such sympathy when we step outside. The train, of course, we didn't have a train there. We weren't near a track at all. So that was one of our first CG shots, folks.
There's another character turning up now.
Yeah, well, the squirrels did make it seem less lonely. Unfortunately, the squirrel was spoiled, and the squirrel's trainers were crazy. And trying to get that squirrel to be allowed to do anything. Exactly.
Doesn't say a single word.
They were so panicky about what he might or might not do. So I luckily didn't shoot most of the squirrel. In fact, I only shot down at the end with the cages. I didn't have to work with the beast. But Tony, nothing happens in this film.
Nothing happens.
What's going on here? What's the story? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's just like Alice. Nothing happens.
I read the reviews, and they just seem to go on about there's nothing going on. It starts with a lot of energy and excitement, and then it just gets to this house and starts slowing down and gets slower and slower, and nothing happens. Why didn't we notice that when we wrote the script?
Well, when we wrote the script and going through it, and when we were shooting it and editing it and everything else, you always felt that your real concern was what's going to happen to this little girl. And you kind of hoped that everyone else might wonder and be afraid what was going to happen to this little girl too.
I think what happens, they get so afraid they walk out of the cinema because they don't
That's
want to
being
see.
very afraid indeed.
That's just cowardly. Jesus, but most of those people didn't pay. Those were critics who got in free.
No, let me just tighten this belt here. That's better.
Okay.
See, that's better, isn't it?
Speak now.
Let me just roll the sleeve up and here we go. There, that's better.
That's better now. Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
Okay, that might happen now and again.
Oh, little Jeliza-Rose goes in.
I love the way you had this doll put in front of the torch, because it's got to be the only way to do it now.
Yeah, no, it just seemed... she walks, or Mystique walks around with her own key light all the time, it seems to me. I mean, Mystique is the blonde, the bitchy blonde, the beautiful British accented bitch who Jeliza-Rose would love to grow up to be.
She's so sophisticated.
Yeah, she's got everything going for her. Then who else do we have there? Who's our little timid one? What's her name? I can't even remember.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, but she's really the real Jeliza-Rose, timid and frightened.
Yes. And he's looking after her. That's a great thing, because Jeliza-Rose knows what she's doing. She can look after that little one and make sure she's okay. And
yeah.
If we're not backing now, then come after us.
Right. But it was only that I realised we were casting that head that I realised that's the true Jeliza-Rose, and I chose one that looked like her. Frightened but strengthened by the pushy Mystique who drags her into terrible, terrible situations, potentially dangerous ones. And then there's Glitter Gal, who comes in later, who's just ditzy blonde. Is probably her mother when she was younger. What she suspects. And then Glitter Gal is the one that's scarred and damaged,
the psychic one,
who probably is the side of her that is damaged by her parents and her life, which has probably been very protected from the real world.
but is also psychic.
Is also psychic.
Has no eyes.
There's something about blindness that improves your vision.
Don't look,
I'm not
Terry.
going to. This is going to be worse than anything I've ever dreamed of.
Exactly.
It's going to be a body, isn't it? Oh God, it's there! Oh God, how disappointing. I thought we were going to be into a real horror film at this point.
No. You see, that's the trouble.
See, nothing happens.
It changes all the time. What sort of film is this?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't fit into any neat genre that I know of, which is probably its major failure, because we like things to be in a box, don't we? We
I
put
like
a label
being
on
a box like that box there.
that one. Now here is a moment that I think wasn't in the script. That I think this is
It
probably.
was in the script, I'm afraid.
But it wasn't in the book.
It wasn't in the book.
Thank you.
But it was in the script.
Good, we got that one. Okay, because I knew Mitch didn't write the good bits.
Well,
I couldn't think of anything. It just seemed right. This little girl just kept climbing into her grandmother's closet, and the rustle of old women's clothing and things. It must be
whatever
hypnotic.
turns you on, Terry. The rustle of old women's clothing.
Yeah, this is, as I said, I got to be a little girl again.
This is such.
Not again. Again was the part I lied about.
Turned into squirrels.
This is such a strange bit of logic for her.
Yeah,
She hears a squirrel. She becomes a squirrel.
she's an imaginative child, but then, careful. Is she getting lost in her own imagination? What's
The
going
one
on?
that looks just like her.
She's looking for us.
That was not in the book.
That wasn't in the script.
Oh, that must have been in the editing. No, we had a much. It was quite different how she wakes up. This is one of the areas where we altered. But I don't know. The idea that head falling over and it being her seemed to be such a simple way of shocking us back into reality, rather than having her waking up as we did once upon a time.
There's a whole chunk gone out there. Isn't there?
Yeah, what was that in there?
No, she went abroad. She had a holiday.
Oh, really? Oh, that was
lots of things
there was the
happened.
car chase as well in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the chase up to the top of the tree when the tree. Oh no, that's something.
No,
else.
that's
No,
another
one.
Grimm's, yeah.
Sorry.
But we could have used it. I mean,
Why didn't
this
we-
film could have.
Could have put that in, then something would have happened at least.
Yeah, I know. See,
She could have found Matt Damon up in the tree.
that moment of Jeff raising his arm there was his. That wasn't in the book, script, or anywhere else. It was all Jeff. And I thought it was wonderful because, in fact, at this point in the book script, he is dead. But we don't know for sure.
You don't know for sure.
But Jeff added that element of the hand, so you're beginning to suspect he's...
So cry for help.
Yeah, and it's so wonderful.
Oh, a new character just came in. And then went away again.
The famous fly swatter. Yeah. Well, I thought something was going to happen, but nothing.
No,
it was just that one cut.
It's just another tease.
Yeah. Now, I wonder what the audience... Does the audience think at this point he's dead or not?
Do you think he's dead now? I think he's dead.
Well, we've read the book, so we know.
Oh, you think it's cheating?
Yeah, but not only is he dead, but the radio's dead. Everything is dead. It's becoming so symbolic.
It's very... And the peanut butter, is that dead?
Dead. Yeah, they were living peanut...
Of course, here it is going to be...
Radio Jeliza-Rose. You receiving me? Over.
It's dead. It is dead.
Yeah. Now, what was interesting, we made a prosthetic dummy of Jeff, a cast, because I didn't know, number one, whether he'd be available for the time we needed to keep him in the chair or whether he would want to do it. And the fact is, all of the dead dude, as we called him, the dude is dead, the dude is dad, the dude is dead, the Lebowski connection, Jeff played dead. And he developed a way of not breathing, nothing moved. Even there wouldn't be any movement under his eyelids. And he would get into some of these takes that would go on for a couple of minutes. This is Shanandaloo?
It is Shanandaloo.
Good. Dali has come in there. Jesus.
No, it's all right. Let's go on away. Look.
Oh, good.
These ants are very black.
Now, we couldn't actually use real ants because there are people from PETA who don't allow the use and the killing of...
You are joking.
No, we couldn't. And we actually had to buy pre-deceased ants. That was the term.
Pre-deceased?
Pre-deceased. I don't know if that's before they're dead or that they were killed by somebody else.
Please tell me you're making this up.
I'm not making this up. This is the real world. This is the world you live in when you make movies.
The logical world.
The pre-deceased ants.
What's going to happen to them?
In the end, those ants that are squashed are CG ants, pre-deceased CG ants even.
That's as safe as you can get.
Yeah.
The pre-deceased ones, what were they going to do? Oh.
It made it legal is what it did.
Oh, this character's come back now.
So this scene used to be longer, but we trimmed it down. We also did this slight, strange movement. Is it real or is it not? Or is it just her imagination?
Maybe she's a queen. She got strangled. She's Queen Gunhild.
See, what I find extraordinary, people who don't get into what is going on here, that she's talking about her mother. She's obsessed with her mother. She's obsessed with everything being dead around her. And she just doesn't respond the way you see children in movies respond.
And all that rather wonderful explanation of what she's been looking at, this ghost. All this stuff comes straight from Mitch's book. I mean, his character speaks in the first person all the way through it and tells you the tale. And we just took those words and really gave them to this little girl. So it makes a very talkative little girl. But I think it's just such brilliant dialogue.
I think what it does, though, for the audience, by taking away the first person voiceover, is that we don't know, the audience doesn't know what's going to happen to her. So
does she survive?
jeopardy is greater.
For sure.
And it makes the audience much, much more nervous. Now, these shots of her at the mirror with the blonde wig are quite extraordinary, because one minute you're looking at a little girl who's clearly a 9.5-year-old girl. You put the blonde wig on, putting lipstick on, and I think there are a lot of men who aren't honest about how they're responding to what they're seeing there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because she looks to me, as a father of 2 daughters, an 18-year-old girl. And the image may be disturbing to certain men who find you aren't supposed to think those thoughts about a 9.5-year-old girl.
That image is disturbing. This huge head.
Well, we cheated. We have larger and smaller heads. Yes, Tony. The tricks of the trade.
I thought this was all just honest all the time.
No, this is honest. We're honest now. We're at least honest now. People who've paid money for the DVD are getting the truth.
But no, it's small head again.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny how the camera lies.
It does, especially when Nicole is operating it.
I couldn't.
But I love the fact she's trapped in a world of films and television.
Yes, you could.
Oliver, that line, of course you could, is a deadly, killing line. And she does it brilliantly.
You're a vision.
See, this is now, people are beginning to get really bothered, I think, when you start dressing up your dead dad.
And his tongue's poking out.
Yeah.
And you give him some makeup.
But why can't they understand what a child is doing at this point? This child is so determined that somehow she's going to keep him at least looking alive, if nothing else. This is so desperate. This is a child so in need of love and friendship and companionship.
Mystique, you too.
I like the way she tells Mystique off. She has to play as well.
The great thing about Jodelle is that she did all the voices of the dolls. She didn't do them on the set. Again, what truth is coming out here is that another actress was doing them because I thought it would be very difficult for Jodelle to try to do everything herself. And so she didn't have to worry about saying the lines. And we then fixed those later in post-sync.
Oh, give her glue to go. Shut up, Mystique. Then what? Something only a dead person uses.
But what's interesting about Jodelle's voice, her actual Canadian voice, is nothing like anything you hear in this movie. She spent quite a bit of time with a voice coach and developed all of these different accents. She chose the voices for the dolls, though. Those were hers.
First, we make an altar.
Now, we have a big cut here, because in the original...
Jeliza-Rose, this is not going to work.
In the original script, she comes back to the bus and finds these bluebells, these flowers. And there seems to be a trail of them surrounded by rocks that Dell has left. And it was the very first stuff we shot. This was the very first couple of days of shooting. And it just seemed unnecessary. It took too long. And so these are one of the cuts. You just get right on down to it. And we shifted it so it was about the sacrifice of the offer of the radio. Now here I felt with Dell, we shot it all like a giant. It's like something out of a genie has appeared.
Well, it's Ray Harryhausen music as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And we played the whole thing. This is her imagination. This creature appears, and she's gigantic and powerful and dangerous and dark.
Vandal by any other name, you understand?
But like so much of this film is ultimately disappointing.
Yeah, that's a way to sell it.
We got their money. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's right. Of course, they bought the DVD. It doesn't matter anymore, does it?
I know. And then we discover it's just a woman. And then we discover that she's not even dead, a ghost.
This little story, this little loop of a story that comes in here is again straight from the book, but it's not something you'd usually do in a film. You wouldn't introduce a character and then go off on a little tale, a little background tale, and then come back to it in the same scene. But it's wonderful to do.
You don't do that in successful films, Tony.
Oh, I see. Is that when you don't do it?
Yeah, you don't do it, no.
But it's so much more interesting to do it like this. Look at.
You'll say so, right?
She looks so young there as well. She goes up and down in age, doesn't she?
Well, that's what's intriguing about Jodelle. She's one minute she's very vulnerable, and then she's very wise and old, and she's constantly shifting. What was interesting during the scenes with Dell, almost every scene with Dell, the wind came up like this, and it was howling, unbelievably bad. And we had to actually go back and shoot some extra the close-ups of Jodelle, which we had done earlier. And the wind wasn't blowing. We had to put a wind machine on her to actually pull this off. But it was this wonderful tale of mum and apple pies and bees.
Die so well. Clunk.
And those are not predeceased bees. Those are CG bees.
Didn't you hurt any animals in the making of this film, for God's sake? Just people, just little girls.
People. We damaged a lot of people along the way.
This is revenge.
Dead people.
Dreadful, isn't it?
Janet's absolutely wonderful. Again, no vanity. She developed this weird kind of rasta hair. She's got the bad eye.
This for me too?
And she's got this southern accent, this nice British lady.
She's my friend.
Well, you should consider the company you keep. I think you take it. You be going now.
I love this moment.
You're not a real ghost, anyhow.
She's just a little brat. Again, this little girl goes through inventing a world, trying to make it more interesting than it really is and more exciting, and yet it always comes back down to reality.
But
Maybe we'll meet again.
she really does want a friend.
Yeah.
I'll most probably come by here tomorrow. Around noon.
Well, you can forget your friend. You can leave her behind. She's trouble.
Traitor. She's
It's
such
just awful. Awful.
There was a story about these plants, wasn't there?
Oh.
They were-
Well, they were plastic. And Mitch thought it was a funny idea that Dell is putting plastic plants around the place. The beautiful flowers trying to dress up the prairie.
Invite me to a picnic. The only thing is,
I mean, Nicola's work is absolutely beautiful. And Yasna's work, we just built this. It had to be ratty, it had to be vandalized, and yet it has to be beautiful as well. I find, it's stunning. The colors, the light are just stunningly beautiful. And I actually found, Jodell's face to me is riveting. I can never not watch it. It's always doing something interesting.
sleep. Dear little ones, sleep.
I love these dolls being packed away in the arm of a chair here. I think that's such a
Well, again,
nice
that
little
was
touch.
that actually came out of Jodell. We were rehearsing. We had that ratty chair, and she instinctively put them
She
there.
put them.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it rings true.
Exactly, but that's what the key to this thing was: watching her, not imposing upon her our ideas, but letting her do what a little girl would do. Another mirror. There's a lot of mirrors in this.
There must be a reason for it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh God, it's probably the second book of Lewis Carroll, Through the Looking Glass, and not the first one. There's no cat in this one. We built the tree, I'm afraid. It doesn't grow in reality.
God.
I know. It's very interesting. I've seen some photos of Pan's Labyrinth, Guillermo del Toro's. Well, he's got a tree. It's also a strange thing in the landscape. It stands
It's the same
out.
tree. We sold it to him.
Yeah, you're right. Those are real. The bunnies and the Canadian geese flying south. Because we were shooting. This looks beautiful and warm and sunny. It was freezing cold.
There was also another scene in here, wasn't there? There was a picnic scene.
There was a picnic, and it was again an early part of the shoot, and we did it, and I wasn't really happy with it. I didn't think it was getting us anywhere. It was one of those happy scenes that I found really difficult to direct, and so I ended up having a food fight.
Here she goes, strangely disappearing.
Yeah, I know. Is it real? Are these? Does anybody care? Burnt out beehives.
I didn't know they were burnt out beehives
Aren't
when I
they?
first saw it. No, when I first saw it, I didn't realise.
Well, that's why you're here today.
But now
watching
I
it
do
with
know.
me, yeah.
Now I know they're burnt out.
Is there anything else
Makes
you
a
want to
big
be
difference.
told? Those are
Are
pumpkins.
those pumpkins? Are
They're
they real
pumpkins.
pumpkins? And are
They
they
are.
pre-deceased pumpkins?
Yeah. No,
This must be the witch's house.
No, again, the wind was blowing today.
It's
Again,
the witch's house.
it was howling. So it seems every time she gets close to the witch, it howls. Oh, that's a Mad Hatter. That little planter is a Mad Hatter.
I
Another
got that
clue.
one.
Another clue.
Wow, I was getting such a
I
cross.
can't kill rabbits, Dale. You hear me?
Now, Brendan is a phenomenon, I think. Brendan Fletcher.
Can't you kill him? Don't be
He was the first person I've ever cast that I didn't meet in advance and sit down and talk to. He sent an audition tape in that he and his girlfriend put together, and he was just spotless. It was not for one moment did you doubt this guy was as retarded as the character needed to be, and he was so sympathetic, and so you cared for him and suffering such sort of pain. And I said, he's got it. This is, again, the advantage of having a very short prep time. We didn't have time to double think anything and lose confidence. You just went by instinct.
It's also a fantastically observed performance because I remember telling you that showing a rough cut to a friend of mine and them saying, where did Terry find that boy? Because they didn't read this as an actor.
Yeah, I know.
playing a part.
But again, what's interesting is how many people will say these are over the top performances. But it's nonsense. I mean, I was in Germany at showing the film, and a guy in the front row afterwards in a Q&A said, "Where did you find him?" Because I work with retarded children daily. And this guy is extraordinary. He never puts a foot wrong. This is a shot that I got Nicola to do. I didn't know what we were going to do with it. I just wanted him to rush through the grass like that. And we finally found a home for it here. Because again, there's more of a gap there. There was a whole scene in there with these two boys.
Oh yeah, of course, the two boys
shooting
going
rabbits,
hunting. Yeah.
And it just grabbed it out and pushed forward as if Dell or some spirit is still chasing her.
You cut this film brutally to the bone.
Thank you. And this scene again is a key scene, and some people don't notice what's really happening.
This is chilling.
Did you notice what happened there?
What's happening there is what happened in the script.
What is
Tara. It must be to do with who's talking and who isn't talking.
But her mouth, are you saying because Jodelle's mouth isn't moving, she's no longer talking?
Yes.
Oh,
I am.
I've often wondered what was going on
Well,
in that
now
scene.
you know, you see.
I really did.
I think this is when we know she's getting a little bit deeper into problems here.
Or we are.
Or we are. She's certainly moving to a higher plateau to get through what's going on in her life.
That's another of your strange heads, though, wasn't it, with the different perspectives.
Yeah. Because to keep things all in focus is really the last thing you want is a little head out of focus in the foreground because it has no power.
I was like the Hitchcock gun in what movie was that? The Hitchcock movie where he's got the gun in the foreground.
We don't care. We don't care. We're
No, we
talking about our
do.
movie.
The people
Colin.
listening really do care about the Hitchcock
I've
film.
never seen Hitchcock films. I don't know. I don't know
You
what you're
have
talking
never
about.
seen Vertigo?
No. Or Psycho.
Or Psycho?
any of
Okay,
those.
fine,
No.
okay. So let's not talk about Hitchcock anymore, especially not Psycho.
We are original.
Okay.
First timers.
Right, okay. Okay. And this is...
No timers.
This is everything in here
Past
is original.
timers. Yeah.
Predeceased.
These flies were on drugs. We had to cool them down, not to a freezing death experience point, but
Because that would be illegal, wouldn't
so
it?
they were incredibly lazy. We couldn't get them to fly most of the time. They would just stumble around in Jeff's beard.
That's what they would do, I think.
Yeah. Now, when people say this is ugly and grotesque,
There's
there was a
nothing-
bigger tongue that I could have used and chose not to. I just want to let people know I'm
Could
a
have been
man of
much
restraint.
uglier.
I'm a
much
man of
uglier
restraint.
And more grotesque.
Maybe I'll bring back some food from Dale.
But Jeff would sit there
A butter tart.
in these, not moving, not breathing, not his eyes, nothing is happening. And at the end of these long takes, I'd say cut, and he'd come out of some deep Zen zone that he had been floating around in. He said it was wonderful. He enjoyed doing this more than many things he's done in his life. Now, what's interesting in the film, in the book, in the script, let's go back to the book, to the beginning. Dickens is running around in a pair of bathing shorts, but because it was so cold, it was frost. Some days we couldn't shoot till 11 because frost was covering the ground. We put him in the wetsuit, which actually ends up much stranger and funnier, more like a bog man as well. And it ended up keeping him warm, but then the weather got better, and he used to have terrible times sweating to death in there. And but his movements, his physical movements, are so exhausting. What he's doing in every take, and it's utter total control.
I faint like a girl.
I'm a girl. I don't faint like a girl.
It's one of my favorite lines. I say it all the time.
You do, don't you?
I mean, to have a chance to actually discover your feminine side is a rare thing in cinema.
Careful, I'll get the drugs out again if you're going to start talking about your feminine side.
And now Brendan, what's interesting about Brendan actually is a very good-looking guy. He looks like Sting when he's as Brendan. And we gave him these terrible teeth to work and scarred him up. And he's not the most beautiful person, but his heart is beautiful.
She's my sister. Who is that in the chair? Was that your mama?
My daddy.
He's quite extraordinary. I used to keep thinking we're really kind of doing Hunchback of Notre Dame, Quasimodo and Esmeralda, because she enchants him, and he's completely her victim.
I like the thing as well because it's like the first time she's got someone else to talk to, and he starts to talk about who was that in the chair, and she's actually got to say something of the truth here. She can't retreat into herself.
Exactly.
And it's him.
When I'm wrong.
But she finds somebody who's got as much imagination as she does.
Got inside my head, they did. They cut my brain, So I'm not epileptic no more, only sometimes, like this.
First time a little girl gets to laugh. There's somebody that's silly and outrageous, and
His laugh is so good, isn't
I
it?
know, it's just love at first sight, it seems to me. That scene is.
I can't swim.
Tracking through the grass was quite an interesting thing because we actually planted grass around the house because in the book the grass is even taller, and I was trying to get 5 foot tall grass, and it was a complete disaster. We ended up having to, it all laid down and died on us, so we had to paint it the day we went out to shoot the exterior of the house, spray it yellow. This was in another field that we found at the last moment.
Drown if you don't keep swimming.
And again, Michael Dana and Jeff Dana did the music. What was interesting about it, Michael came on the film to do the music, and at the last moment he couldn't because, or he couldn't expend as much time as he had originally planned because an Adam Egoyan film, which he was also scoring, came up and got into Cannes. And he was having to work on that score at the same time. So Jeff, his brother, who is also a wonderful composer, was brought on. So Jeff was here in London. Michael was back in Canada. And we worked in this three-handed, dance. And it was very interesting because Jeff's stuff is a little bit more positive than Michael's. Michael's is strange and twisted. And it was a fantastic combination. I love this moment of suddenly setting sail. It's the first really exhilarating moment in the movie musically, and it's joyous.
She's Lisa.
Who she thought was going to be a new friend for a girl, even.
Exactly.
Normal, even.
It's more disappointment for young Jeliza-Rose. And I love the way she comes in here. She's totally disappointed.
And unimpressed by this as well.
Top do too. Hell, some do.
What's this supposed to be? Periscope?
And we built this little thing. And he is just so magical in there.
What's this junk?
It ain't junk. It's bite.
Now, there was also a key thing that happens in there, and it happened in rehearsal. It was in the earlier scene when he asks her to hold his hand. Mm-hmm. And in one of the times we were rehearsing, and I said, we should emphasize that a little bit because that's the last thing little girls are supposed to do, to go and hold hands of strangers. Mm-hmm. And I thought that would keep us on edge. So you have to feel there is danger in this guy, or there's a potential danger there. And I think a lot of the audience finds that very hard to deal with because it's dealing with all of they're certainly dealing with all the fears that are beaten into their heads daily by the media. Every child is out there with his own rapist, pedophile, predator waiting for him. And this is, first of all, nonsense, and it makes me angry. And it was one of the reasons I think this whole story attracted me, because I'm tired of hearing and seeing children only as victims of these predators out there. And I think what was one of the things that sparked me was Harry, my son, when he was 12. You know, we live in Highgate, nice part of London. The shops are 100 meters away. And he sat and watched television all the time, and he was terrified of going to the shops, thinking the world was full of muggers, rapists, killers. And this is just terrifying. And that's what the media does to people. And it isn't just children that are victimized by it, but adults. And I think that's why I find the responses to Tideland so interesting, how people are so disturbed by it and so angered by it, because it's dealing with these things that they've been brainwashed into thinking are out there daily. And it's nonsense. It's untrue. And this sequence was, I'd forgotten, wasn't in the book. It was metaphorical, wasn't it?
It may have been metaphorical.
The grass represents what?
I don't know. What do you think? It may represent the sea, seeing as it's yellow and got stalks sticking out of it.
Yeah, that looks like the sea, yeah.
The sea of unconscious. No, I remember, we scripted all this stuff, but the bit we didn't script was that bit.
Yeah,
and that came up later, and that was
it
a
seemed to be
beautiful
a thing an
to see.
animator might do. And I had one standing by. So
It's
let's do it.
it's a delightful thing.
Just for me, it was a chance to create this scene. It just felt this would be fantastic to actually show her imagination, to do an underwater scene. Now, again, we were saved by having no money, because normally you would spend a long time planning a sequence like this, working out every detail, but all we did is get the set up one day, got all the crew putting monofilaments and wires on every piece of furniture, on window frames, and we had wires on the curtains, which we also had fans blowing, and we just came in zooming in with the camera on this crane. We did several shots of this. It's all shot at about, I think, 96 or 70, 92 or 76 frames, so it's all slowed down. And then we later on did the green screen work, all by just counting rather than working it out. And it was as crude as you could ever hope. It was the kind of things that I used to do at the beginning when we had no money, in the beginning of what this career was, yeah. And so suddenly it was a chance to go back and do all that again, and it was great. It was liberating, and it works. The most extraordinary thing was when she speaks underwater in the scenes with Mystique inside the house. We had her do her lines, we recorded them, and then played them back at 3 times speed. And she learned to say it fast, but we had her hanging on wires in front of a green screen with all these fans blowing to kick her hair around, and we're shooting it now at 76 frames. I said, just mouth it, don't even try to say it, because I know you can't do it. And she was mouthing it. It didn't really work. Her face wasn't expressive enough. And she said, Terry, I can do it. And we did it. And she did it. And the performance is extraordinary. This child is, absolutely beyond belief in her talent.
Or a prisoner. Or anything.
And again, one of those sad moments.
But it's so strange, isn't it? The fantasy with the pirate and everything, and then you show reality, and the reality is really just as strange as the fantasy you've just seen.
But a little bit disappointing.
Oh, but Patrick is back again.
It's a strange moment in the film. Suddenly we go off. We've been so much in her world, and we move a little bit into Dickens's world, but she's still in that world. And now, for a moment, we're going to introduce another character and go completely into somebody else's life. And the last thing you expect from Dell is to be such a pleasantly sexy lady. Because I kept thinking she's the most damaged person in the film. It's clear she was, in love with Jeff's character, and that he had left. And she had just sort of sunk into this harsh version of womanhood and trust nobody.
There's no hope for her, is there? Because there's no future. With Jeliza-Rose, you keep feeling as though there's some sort of future for her.
Yeah.
And even with Dickens, once he meets Jeliza-Rose,
you
think, oh, maybe he can escape this awfulness. But with her, you feel like that's it, it's over.
And Dell is trapped. And again, the sadness of that character is that she takes to stuffing things she loves and cares about, trying to hold on to them,
so to speak.
Yeah, and then she brought Jesus into her life,
and that solved everything.
I know, constant companion. I'm told, he's always with her.
I don't think he's with her just now.
No, but have we moved back into psycho?
Don't
territory?
say Hitchcock. Don't.
I wish one day I'm going to see his films.
You must, because you'd be interested to see what he's actually stolen from you.
That's why I'm wondering. Can he actually have been so prescient that he was stealing from this film?
I think that's exactly what happened.
We've got. Is that
a
the
white rabbit? I think it might be.
Crikey. I don't know. There's so many things, and I just.
What are they doing?
Her face is just wondrous, and again. So it's clear, sex is floating around in many ways.
Sucking his blood.
And how does this little girl deal with it? It's what was interesting in the book. Well, in the book, she was older. She was 12, I think. The character, Jeliza-Rose.
I can't remember that.
Yeah,
really.
She was right on the edge of puberty, So, and that's a very, very important part. I mean, this impending sexuality is there, but at the same time in the book she's totally innocent, as she is in the film. And I was searching for girls originally at 12, but they were already too corrupted by television and everything that they're expected to be. They were grown up. Mm-hmm. They hadn't any innocence left in them. And so that's why in the end we ended up with Jodelle at 9.5, to find somebody who was young enough to be innocent and yet still, had the elements that were needed to,
Carry
confront.
Performance and something.
Yeah, what's coming up.
Show me.
This is the once upon a time another sequence.
I know. We might actually include this in the extras.
It would be nice to put that, because if you can find it. It was a really nice little sequence as well.
Yeah,
that no one can see at the moment.
No, but it was going back to the moment when Mystique chose Jeliza-Rose.
Tell her. She's
But we cut it out. We're brutal. It
There's
could
also
have
a
been.
brief flash of Mum before she
Yeah,
gave up all hope.
yeah.
She's not dead yet. You just want to take her place.
It's interesting that she kicks out herself first.
Hearts. You're just heads.
Oh, and then the useless one goes.
I love the way
Jeliza-Rose,
it begs for mercy.
I want to help save Mystique. I truly do, because my eyes. I can sense things in the dark. Better than those other two. I'm sorry, Mystique.
Now her face is so wondrous the way it changes. Now she's all sort of pudgy and Eskimo-like almost. And the next scene she'll be very sleek and beautiful. And I think that's what I love about Jodelle, is that she's so chameleon-like. She's still this little girl, but it's shifting and changing all the time.
That's very much to do with her age, though, isn't it? Isn't she constantly changing, you think, or is it?
Well, no, she got
Nicola's lighting.
At one point it was about the second day of shooting. She got bit by a no-see-um, which is a little bug that you can't see. I guess like a gnat, and her lips swelled up. She looked like Daffy Duck. It was horrible. I thought we were doomed. The whole film was going to collapse because nothing can happen to her. We couldn't afford one day, and she just swelled up. And so we had to go and shoot a couple extra things to keep going, and eventually she came back to looking like herself. But that was the terrifying thing about making this film, that we were so dependent on her. And we keep asking ourselves, what film has had a child in every scene in the film?
Did you get very tired during the shoot?
No, she was extraordinary. She would have worked 12 hours a day. She just loved being there. This is what she loves doing. Right. And she was, I kept saying she was the most professional person on the set. And I think half of my job was trying to encourage her to play more, to be more of a child. It was interesting, the scene back a bit at on the railway tracks when they're putting the pennies down. It was the one day that she didn't seem to get the scene. She didn't know what to do. I said, "Come on, you're playing. This is like a treasure chest. There's blah blah blah," and she didn't understand it, because all she was thinking about was her lines at the end of the scene when the camera pulls away. And both Brendan and I were going a bit crazy trying to, get her to play.
And she was
like
trying to hit her mark.
Yeah, and thinking about her lines. And she said, "No, we got to improvise stuff here. This is the moment. You're a child. Come on." And she kind of got there in the end. But that was the only day that we had any sort of problems with her. She just was always there. And she was always surprising.
Yeah, I am. Because I've got my own submarine. Can we feed the shark? I'd like to do...
The thing I can't tell in the film is in the book, you were very aware of how hungry she was getting. And I don't know if we pulled that off, that she's really starving. I mean, that's why that peanut butter.
Yeah, but it was... No, the book really goes to town on that. I remember it. And also, she's kind of physically falling apart. There are references to it. I mean, Jodelle's a healthy-looking little girl, isn't she?
Yeah. And again, I can't remember how long the time scale is in the book. whether it's longer.
No, I can't remember how long it goes for.
It seems longer, but
Be a dog. You watered all the fish and seaweed.
I think it's a nice true scene, this. I think it's
Yeah.
her curiosity and
yeah, exactly.
her joy, you know.
And his embarrassment and his oh god, just
We better go. The monster shark has
And he must have, he must have been told so many times to be warned away from anything
Yeah.
below the waist there.
well,
you know?
exactly. Anything sexual with Dickens is
No,
verboten.
he's going to get really beaten.
Yeah.
No, that's a bad place. It's wrong there.
No! Come on!
Can't go there.
Again, there's a moment here which I wanted to do, which is, when she's still playing, she doesn't realize that he's in a state here, and
And we're hearing.
and
what
she
happened.
grabs for him, and he throws her hand away really violently,
Dickens, so I can't go there with you.
which is shocking to her.
Can't go there with you.
And again, this is maybe me trying to manipulate the audience to the extent that there's potential danger.
No.
here
I
for-
think it does. I think that's in, because he's so serious. Suddenly, you do worry. Suddenly that you're reminded that that his physical power is greater than hers.
Yeah.
Therefore, that's the danger. But then here you can see him.
Yeah, this is a really sweet scene.
Shouldn't play no more today.
It was interesting when there was pressure to cut the film shorter. We cut this out.
You said you'd do that.
I don't
And I
know.
think it was a mistake to cut it out. That's why it went back in, because
If I try something.
there is a way of moving the plot forward quicker, but it's such a touching scene. I think it plays better for Dickens later. The benefit of the scene is later,
Sure.
is when you realize it.
Does she bite?
No. Her mouth is like this.
Well,
Very sweet moment.
She doesn't have teeth.
But again, for an audience, it's really twisting and very terrible time. It's like you're dealing with these cliches. Here's a retarded kid, ugly, and there's a pretty little girl, and they don't want to deal with this. And he may not be, he may be retarded, he may be ugly, but inside he's as sweet as could be. You couldn't find a sweeter person. And people have difficulty looking past the surface, I think.
No, it's weird. It's not a head at all. It's not like what you said. And that's all that's down there, okay? And there's nothing
But do you
but
think
dirt
do you think
and
it's
more
because
dirt.
people just don't like the ugliness, and simple as that, or do you think they're frightened of what they see as being a lack of control?
It's probably both. It's probably both things, I think. When people, those that don't like it, when they describe the film, they describe it as something really ugly and grotesque and horrible, which I don't see. I see beautiful things everywhere here. One could have taken this whole story and shot it, 16 mil, scratchy, handheld, like you do these things.
Yeah, but absolutely. I think in fact, the script is much bleaker than the film. I think there was I always remember seeing the first rushes, and there was a kind of richness to the imagery, and the light was so beautiful all the time that and there was a sort of romanticism in it, in fact, which wasn't there in the script.
But I just felt it had to be through her eyes. Whatever we're watching there is the way she sees the world, and not the way an adult would see the world, or a documentary filmmaker, or whatever, a social worker.
Smells like disinfectant.
No, which is therefore it is surprising when people's reactions are to talk about the ugliness of it, or how discordant it is, because it doesn't feel that at all. It feels very lush and very rich.
Rose?
But it's what's going on in their heads is what the problem is, and they can't see through the filter of their own imagination.
We're here. Cry. Stink's gone forever.
And that's why I put that intro on, because I was doing a lot of festivals and did a little talk at the beginning, trying to encourage people to look at it through the eyes of a child, just to give them a clue how to get.
This was such a weird decision. I'd never. I'd always remember being surprised by that. Let's make the dolls' heads move.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure about it. I just felt. This is what I liked about making this film. doing instinctive things, and that was just an
Sure,
instinctive
sure.
thing. Let's
It's
do
interesting
it.
to see what happens then.
Yeah, because it seems to be breaking rules.
Yeah.
You could argue.
Yeah, for sure.
But then again, you could argue her imagination is such that the doll's heads are moving. I mean, why do we show it from an objective point of view?
Yeah,
We're not showing a thing.
that's the rule broken, isn't it?
Yeah, this is subjective. Everything is.
This is always such a terrifying moment. Even before anything was shot, this is a terrifying moment.
It's what's going on here. Again, we see Del on top of a man. Girls on top is what this film is really about.
Girls on top of corpses.
Yeah, well,
Run away.
and this is between Jeff and Janet. That was their idea of pushing the tongue back in, which I think is wonderful, because if you're that crazed as she is and that in love, this is the kind of thing she would do.
The tongue is just in the way.
That's all. She doesn't like French kissing. She's a good Midwestern girl. None of that continental stuff creeping in.
Wigs and blush, they won't cut it, child.
I think what I love about Janet is the way she changes gear very quickly, from being very threatening to be very,
I know.
touching.
Terrifying, though. It's
She goes from-
terrifying.
Yeah.
A loincloth.
A loincloth, yes, we felt we had. This children may be watching it. Jeff has that in his back garden now.
The loincloth? You're not going to get into Cannes with that. See, that's the
I
second
know.
time.
Again.
Sinister.
And what that reminded me of is Lena Wertmüller's film Seven Beauties,
Skin has to be
where Giancarlo Giannini is dealing
yeah.
with a corpse, which is all the gases are escaping every time he tries to move it to hide it.
I remember that strange expression, sinister apples. Oh, sinister apple. She's out. And talking to Mitch, Mitch, what exactly do sinister apples mean? Not that I care what it means, but just in case there's a meaning. Of course, there is no meaning.
No.
It's an expression.
People seem to be so revolted by the taxidermy scene, the knife in the stomach. They seem to see much more than's actually there. It's great that we're inspiring people's imagination. I just wish they'd go the direction we intended.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know. You have to choose.
She's lovely there. This is an important moment.
It's a nice little act of revenge, which always gets a giggle
Yeah.
amongst them.
No, not me. No, don't.
I think the difficulty for a lot of people is they can't see the humor in this film, and I think it's actually a very funny film.
That's because they've left. That's why.
Oh, that's why. I mean, when you see it with a big audience, there's laughter
All the way through, I
it.
know, yeah.
So, and it's various forms of laughter. It's like going through the whole canon of laughter, from giggles to gasps to nervous titters. The whole thing is there, and it floats around the audience because some people are laughing at different things and reacting in different ways, and I love it in the crowd. Unfortunately, you people are watching it sitting at home,
You're his.
but get some people in, get the neighbors in, get the popcorn out, and let's watch it in a group.
This is.
Tell me where you are, I'll come over.
I love the way she needs a hug. Oh, she's not going to get one.
No, it's very, very important.
Let the porch draw in. That's the view.
That's what I think you really feel for Dell then. You feel for Jeliza.
Come on. Yeah.
She's in need of a mother. She's in need of someone to love, and they can't touch.
Or a straitjacket.
And the day, luckily, was grey.
I love the way you've got Dickens here. This strange, tired,
Oh, he's just
exhausted man.
exhausted. There's buckets of blood and bodily fluids everywhere.
It's time for a song, isn't it?
I think so.
Oh,
I've got a squirrel to kill first.
oh yeah.
Somebody, I read something on one of the IMDb or something, one of the chat lines, that just loved the musical montage in the middle. They thought it was the best joke in the whole thing.
Yep, well, good. I'm glad there's some people out there.
Well, it just seemed we need to change the pace, or do something to give a little breather. It's Act 5, aren't we into about this?
At least Act 5. Act 5, Volume 6.
Exactly. And there's one chance for everybody to just let loose and have some fun.
They were great. They were a great chorus as well, weren't they, when they were recording this?
This is one of the best.
Massed choirs of...
We had to go to the South, the deep South, to get this. And I just love these lyrics because, it's almost pagan, wash me in the blood of Jesus. I mean, you don't get to hear many hymns like that.
Well, you don't, but that's why it took 20 people to write this particular hymn.
I think so. And I think it's a traditional hymn, isn't it? I haven't actually checked on the disc to see who wrote it. I just thought it was one of those wondrous things that land in your lap at the right time. Another gift of God. Now this was this white John Lennon Imagine room.
You've been practicing that one.
Isn't that what people think of immediately? You think of Imagine. John Lennon. But this was, again, one of those moments we got working with a low budget, with a small crew, and you can make last-minute changes. And I suddenly thought, we're going to have to shoot that scene tomorrow, the dinner sequence, and the room didn't look different enough. It didn't look like we've moved to a new level, new plateau. And I said, let's paint everything white. Furniture and all.
Of course, it also means you can't cut anything out from now on.
There's that. But we had to clean things up. What was funny is the art department got in there and diligently painted everything. We came in the next morning and it was terrible because they'd painted out the graffiti. The whole point is it's a palimpsest. A palimpsest?
A palimpsest of a palimpsest.
It's a palimpsest, is what it is. Because you see layers, and you can never quite get rid of the filth. You can't get rid of the past. It says so much, folks, that set.
It certainly does now. It certainly does.
Yeah.
I just want to eat that rabbit.
Palimpsest, palincest.
Stop
all there.
now.
It's all there.
I tell you,
because the question is he really her son or brother?
No. You can't. No, brother.
This battle was going on amongst the crew when they were shooting it because they were convinced.
My vote goes for brother.
That this is the love child of Noah.
Yeah.
And what's her name?
Yeah, whatever she's called. That woman, that one there.
One, yeah.
That red cross.
Dell. Because we used to, the house, we always used to put these production signs up for going to the location, and it was Noah's house there, and we called it Noah Vale.
Oh. You missed
And the sign said, to Noah Vale.
She tended my
Amazing.
I know, the things you can do when you've got spare time on your hands, because Nicole is taking too long lighting this thing.
It was an easy shoot, relaxed shoot.
I love this scene. It's terrifying. And Janet at her most worrisome.
I can see more than most, even with my eyes closed.
The shock of this, when we were cutting it and watching Janet like that, the shock was not when we were cutting it. It was a month after we'd finished the film, and I was walking down the street and bumped into this beautiful lady, and I didn't recognize her. It was Janet. And she allowed herself to be taken advantage of.
I can see everything you can imagine.
The stillness. The
Awesome.
awesomeness. Those aren't her eyebrows. We did a lot of work on that gown.
Behind bushes.
Heavy makeup.
Believe her
And
eyes.
this is where Jodelle is just wonderful.
That's my one's on this.
She's the deer in the trapped in the headlights of the oncoming car.
Bad things might happen under the
The
sun.
spittle.
Oh, those are the
flying.
lucky takes.
You smell awful. You reek of the devil, Rose.
Thank God the squirrel was there.
Yeah.
Or who knows what would have happened.
See, when they say nothing happens, look at that. Action sequences.
You finished making that trap,
The squirrel chase.
Yeah.
Another lovely accident, wasn't it?
The trap doesn't close. This poor little girl who just found a family, and now they're all deserting her, and she doesn't understand anything. And he's caught with some sort of, what is that, intestines? I don't know. He's probably been pulling out those earlier. It's a love affair blossoming that doesn't get a chance to. It's so sad, Tarkovsky-like almost. And this little Blanche Dubois, alone again. I just always love that image. I love that little hat. And I love father and daughter scenes.
Sand lips?
She's so open to whatever the world offers her.
Are you there?
There's nothing else, is there? This is great how she makes it work for her.
Yeah.
Sisters.
The cathedral.
She's been washed in the blood of Jesus.
We have to keep the religious element alive, because I think she's slowly succumbing to it.
I'm alive.
And so you suddenly hear this mixture of her mother's voice and Mystique's voice. They're all becoming the same creature. Mother's body, Mystique's head.
Thank God for the new brain, though.
Yeah, you need one.
A wiggling thing on the end of it.
Oh, isn't that your cortex?
It's someone's
Oh,
cortex.
the trap worked.
Rise and shine, dear.
Also a strange moment, this doll
What?
waking her.
Mystique's alive. She's okay and happy. Just a dream, trust me. I know everything. Stop it. Stop pretending you're her. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's not just a dream.
I find it very disturbing as well, this thing about the doll taking on the personality of another doll that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And they're not quite being in control of it.
Stop.
I'm glad I'm not Mitch Cullin, is all I can say. I wish they'd stop crediting me with the imaginative parts of this film.
Which parts do you want to be credited with?
Well, the underwater sequence. I was trying to get the job on the remake of Poseidon. That's why I did that sequence. Failed miserably.
I didn't know, so I'll go.
Don't go.
Is he the White Rabbit? Is that who Dickens really is?
Mystique's all right. She's in the hospital, but she's got a body. She's gonna get a real brain, too.
I'd like a
When in doubt, dance.
sometimes.
It was one of those days like that.
Oh, wasn't
When in
it?
doubt.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you got to. No. This is the truth about directing. There are the days. What do? Well, let's dance. But it works quite nicely, and it sort of builds up to.
Fabulous, dear.
It builds up to.
I love her doing that.
And we're gonna make you fabulous.
No, because suddenly she's playing at being, a grown-up gal. And he's playing at being Harpo Marx in drag.
Like a decision she overrules him.
Here is probably the scene that I think
You'll make
is the
me do
most
it wrong.
powerful in the film, almost.
As I don't have muscles anyway, so I
And
won't move.
I just love it, because when we were shooting this,
Off your lips.
they're both absolutely brilliant in this scene. And it's just two kids playing.
Yeah, the long shot's nice. It makes it much more tense.
Yeah.
But also, he starts to become strangely attractive. I think it's just the blonde wig, I hope.
Well, sort of 80s glam rocker he's
Yeah,
becoming. Yeah. And she's so serious about it, and he's so just besotted with the whole
And he's
thing.
enjoying it. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think you're nice.
And his little doll's arm, because he can't quite touch her.
Quite.
Well, he does. Okay. And when we shot this scene, it's very simple. We had just this camera, and we had just two on the other side, outside, with doing the close-ups, and we did it all in just a take, without breaking it up.
She kissed me.
And we were sitting back by the monitor, the continuity girl, myself, and some of the others, just absolutely gobsmacked by this scene. The tension in the air when you're doing it. Because we all know, this is the dangerous scene, or it could be. We don't know what's going to happen. And they were both just extraordinary. And what happened in one of the earlier takes, second or third take, Brendan just froze in the middle of the take. And I said, "Cut, what's happened?" And he said, "I don't know. I mean, she had completely hypnotized me. I had forgot where I was. I forgot my lines. I forgot everything. She had complete control over me."
She was
and
my girlfriend.
that's just how great she can be, and also how great he can be, because he allows himself to be taken over. And then it's just a heartbreaking scene with his tale.
It is a heartbreaking scene. It's the saddest thing.
But she did.
Even saying, he's describing a scene of paedophilia.
Yeah,
But that is the point. But it's
but on the other hand, an old lady kissing a little boy, is that anymore? Is that pedophilia? I don't know.
I think it was something to do with the tongue dancing like a goldfish in his mouth.
Well,
May have
the tongue dancing was a thing that I just felt, it was in the book. He always said tongue dancing, and I
Like a
got Brendan to do it because I just thought that would make it more powerful. I mean, that's for him. It's like playing, and you also know the audience is going to say, "Oh, they're French kissing."
But also, I mean, his story involves this old lady who kissed him and so on. He remembered it fondly, and it's it's the everything isn't quite as simple as compartmentalised
Exactly right.
as people would like sometimes.
And then they refer to this scene as pedophilia. She's the predator in the scene. If anybody's a predator in the scene, she's the one that's pushing it. He's just. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think he's trapped for being trapped as a 9-year-old forever, whether she can move beyond that.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a scene that I think is extraordinary. And, proud to have been a small part of, Tony. I hope you are as well.
I'm very proud. I also like these huge explosions. They're the largest, noisiest explosions I've ever heard in a movie. Where are all the people gone? Only trucks.
Well, we don't want people interfering with their little world, do we? It's mechanized, the world is, but they're cutting it away. What are we doing there? It was interesting when Mike Palin saw this. He was bothered because it seemed to intrude upon the claustrophobic world. But other people have seen this as this little world, this could be this beautiful world being carved up and cut away, and taken off.
I certainly always feels like they come right to the edge of their world, and this is
exactly,
it.
Yeah. That was the intention,
and they can't move beyond it either. That's the other thing that makes it really clear. That's why there's no escape in a way. I think.
Yeah, and then you notice the pyramidal shapes. This is to bring in some sort of Egyptian element.
They can't escape to Egypt, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I just
not going to be able to escape into Egypt.
I was just hoping people would think of The Mummy, because that was a big successful film.
And maybe they went to see those pyramids, they come to see these pyramids.
Yeah.
Well, they should be in the poster. It should just be a poster of pyramids.
Pyramids. That's right, yeah. So we got Poseidon, we got The Mummy, Psycho, if I'd ever seen it.
If you'd ever seen it.
Yeah.
Vertigo. No, Vertigo. No, that's another one, isn't it?
No.
How can you tell?
But I think that's probably what it was. You see the pyramids and you think there's going to be a big chase sequence with lots of Arab horses leaping over the dunes and things, and we don't provide that.
Well, there are Arab horses in this.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's sadly lacking.
It's a low-budget film. You can do that when you've got the big bucks. But we're...
I don't have to have.
Oh.
Dickens.
It's interesting, this scene was shot much, much later. Weeks after that other scene. And yet they seem to go together. At least in my mind. I hope I haven't ruined it for the audience. But that's what we're here for.
Money well spent on continuity, I think.
People don't have to listen to these continuity.
They probably don't. They've probably left again.
You reckon?
Yeah.
How can you leave your own home when this is
People
playing?
do. If it's that bad, they will just leave.
Yeah. I just wonder if they turn the DVD player off.
They leave it playing.
They leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just these images and our voices in an empty house.
Here is the to me the true Quasimodo Esmeralda moment. It's so tender, and he is so lost and so close to love. And she what does she do?
She
I don't think she just lost my sympathy.
All of it?
But he's gained mine. So I'm with him for the rest of the film.
He's your blind red. He's my husband. And
She's very funny in this.
I'm
Jadelle loves being little drama queen. She loves all this stuff. This is an actress acting.
Yo, girl, kiss me. And I'll be bored.
But she does it brilliantly.
Girls, don't kiss girls that way. Please.
Did she come up with her idea for the kiss? The way the kiss goes?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you
Sorry.
told her to do this.
I'm sorry.
You're bad. It's very funny.
And her face changes so wonderfully. It's what's so great about it.
That was fun. I like a clumping skip. Oh, bum, bum, bum.
She goes galumph, galumph, galumphing. It's another Lewis Carroll moment. She galumphs. That's galumphing, definitely.
Oh, where's the camera going? It's Nicola going. He got bored. He went
No, we thought we had to show that. We'd built that and we wanted to show it.
Daddy, look after us all. We'll explore the 100 Years Ocean. It's a dream come true.
a lot of Wellington acting going on there. Look. Mad at laughter.
I think she is quite crazy by now. I mean, people say, I think that's the whole thing, is you can go into craziness. That's how you survive, is my real theory of life. The worst moments, if you can actually go that far into your imagination, you can get through these moments when you're lying there on your dead dad. If it ever happens to you or me, well, it's too late, our fathers are dead.
Exactly. But maybe someone else out there is listening to this and they'll know.
So if by chance your parents die, this is how to get through it.
I always love that new turn in the plot. You know, something. Oh, she might be pregnant.
Yeah, well, this is her again. Her mind is so fertile, as it were.
And here she is. What did you refer to as a Chinese bride?
Yeah, I know. Again, I thought we've got to use Mum's thing properly, and we did that. And she just put the makeup on. It's way over the top, but it is like a Chinese bride. Or a sacrificial victim, depending on how you look at it.
Oh, it's us. It's Jeliza-Rose.
I love the way she comes in. It's Jeliza-Rose.
It's very formal.
She's learned, she's been well brought up.
Yeah, and it's her, not the doll.
No. Very proper, very polite little girl.
Oh, the wind's back.
Watch the wind. I mean, we couldn't afford a wind machine except for the one day when we would do a reshoot. And this was all nature coming. This is why I said God made us do this. We were talking about this earlier. Shall we admit to the truth of it now?
Yes, it's time.
What you're seeing on film is exactly word shot, everything exactly as it came down from a higher source.
Exactly. Nothing has been cut out or put back in or changed in
We
any
were
way.
merely the hands that wrote. This was given to us.
The conduits.
Conduits. So if any of you want to leave the bosom of L. Ron Hubbard and join
does he
a
have a
true
bosom?
religion,
Are you sure?
he must.
Oh, yeah, I suppose he does have one. And a manly,
well,
a manly way. A manly bosom.
yeah, metaphorical bosom. He's
Yeah, manly metaphorical bosom is right. That's the
embosomed by L. Ron Hubbard. Well, come our way, because we've been given the truth from on high. And rather than writing it in book form, well, the book, to be honest, was written after the film. Rather shoddy translation of, I think, of the film.
A bit like Hitchcock's films, in fact.
Indeed. So we have something here that I think you can all learn to believe in.
I think I'm sorry, too. I think so.
I love, again, she's such a little manipulative gal. And for people who are either Freemasons or Elks, we also have mooses. That's part of our secret society. There's a moose.
That baby sounds like a strange thing.
It's an elk. Oh, jeez.
Elk. It's not on
It
the
was an
nest, you
elk.
see.
Oh, God, the whole thing is falling apart. This religion is not going to hold up.
You have to show me your special secret verse.
No, I can't build a castle. I don't
This
know.
is
Heartbreaking moment coming up.
Yeah. But I remember first seeing this when we first cut this scene together. It was, you're sort of on the edge of your seat. It is so strange. It's so, you've entered, I don't know what level of potential hell this little girl has got to by now.
It's
I'll
his.
show you, okay? Just once only.
The shirt is really
the
important.
key, isn't it?
The way these shirts were actually, we found old men's shirts because it has to be his father's clothes, probably.
All right. I'll wait for my cutie. You're my kiss.
Totally mad.
What do you want to see a special secret for? You better off not knowing.
I think this squirrel was a good actor.
Great. What was interesting in the scenes with when Jodelle was there, the squirrel just played brilliantly.
You do it. I don't want
It was really interesting because whatever it was, the squirrel did bond with her, or at least with Glitter Girl's head.
We wanted Glitter Girl's head very badly.
God, did Hitchcock steal a shot like this from when he did Psycho?
I think he did something like this.
See, we're now mirrors within mirror. We're soon the mirror.
Mirrors or mirror?
Yeah, mirror. It's the film is becoming mirror as it goes on. I'm afraid we built this set. We built it in the house.
It's a strange moment for a Glitter Girl.
We're gray ghosts.
She's a sensualist, and she's blind. She can only feel things.
I like that she needs telling off by Jeliza-Rose now and again.
Yeah.
Disappear. And we'll get caught.
Yeah, that's a good idea, I think.
It was interesting, this house. I mean, this is actually inside the real house, which we had to restore. But it was stumbling on a stone house, and that seemed right for a witch to live in. A stranger place.
Such a strange idea, the idea of people actually living in these houses out in the middle of nowhere, in this agricultural land, though, miles from anywhere.
But that's what always happens, I feel. You know,
And it would have been dressed up like this as well.
Yeah, no,
they'd
these
have had all the comforts there.
I mean, as a kid growing up in Minnesota, there were these old abandoned houses, and they all smelled of this kind of thing, even though they weren't still lived in. They were strange, spooky, because you created your own world in there, and you had catalogs. You get your Sears Roebuck catalogs and order things. You wouldn't be going to a store. You would see either photographs or drawings of things, and they would spark your imagination, and you would order them in. And oh, look at that tool. That's a bait box.
It certainly is, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
This must be his special secret.
Candy in it?
No. It's my special secret.
I mean, Yaz did a great job on this film. She
The end of the world.
she was actually Jeliza-Rose. That's what I thought was interesting. We end up, with a woman designer, a woman editor, a woman producer. It seemed to be right.
I like this dynamite. It's very particular.
Yeah.
Because it's a sort of indication of the innocence about these things again.
Did you notice that shot there? How
Going
the
underwater.
blue- Yeah. Oh, God.
I tell you.
I know. These things are
Someone
planned.
directed this thing, didn't they?
I think it was Alfred Hitchcock.
Well, he was cheap, at least.
Yeah. The stuffed version. Brendan is so incredible there. It's such an extraordinary thing, the way he uses his eyes, because he can never quite look directly
No,
at anything.
he avoids looking at it all the
Yeah,
time.
it's too painful. He's always got to keep darting away. It was a great moment when she lies down on the bed and she pulls her little skirt down.
Yes. Some things have to be done properly.
Yeah. And the idea of the growling stomach is her famishness.
She's growing.
But you've got to explain it somehow as something
It's mine.
special.
I bet she's pretty. I bet she's pretty like you.
Now, again, this scene, in all of these scenes, we're right on the edge, and we have to be. That's the only way they work. So there's a very fine line that you can't go across. And I mean, one of the things I kept telling the crew, everybody involved, is we've got to be innocent. We've got to approach this things totally innocent, even though we're all adults and we know the buttons we're going to be pushing with this movie. But you've got to then approach it innocently. And it's strange. In the book, it goes actually a little bit further because his hand touches her thigh. And we both felt that you just can't do that in a film. It's just too definite, too graphic. The thing with the book, it's easier to read in a sense because people imagine their own version of things. They're not given the imagery, and so they can filter it however they want to, and they don't. It's probably not as bothersome as the film is for a lot of people.
It's Mama, I think.
Is she awake?
I don't know. Because that never happens, but maybe it happens. Mama,
I mean, the way we were mixing blue and red light in here is fantastic.
I'm
I just
scared.
love the whole feeling of this.
If we go together, we're safe.
It always felt to me like the light had somehow found its way through many different layers into this strange, dark little world.
Yeah. And of course, the electricity's getting a bit tricky at this point.
Well, it does
in
it
the film.
at this moment. I think the budget was running out, wasn't it?
I think it was the wind outside that was causing this.
Oh, there's a clue there on the floor. Look.
It's Betty Crocker. It's your cake mix has fallen. You won't be able to make that cake in MacArthur Park. No. Bogman.
It is a Bogman.
Dale says someday Mama will wake.
There were
And she says
more
someday
Bogman
there'll
scenes,
be
but we
a
cut them
little
out.
story or something.
That was the scene we cut out back when the head falls over and you see
If
it's
she
her.
gets buried, she'll be gone for good.
What intrigues me about this is we're doing what would be in a horror film a scene that would build towards certain things, and we don't do it. It's like it's in the world of horror films, but never going where they go, which I think is actually more disturbing. Or if you're a horror fan, more disappointing, depending on how you look
Irritating, yeah.
at it. But it's just, playing with those, but never doing it. So you're in there, and I'm not sure if an audience is thinking Psycho, and a film I've never seen, and they're getting nervous because something's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen,
Ghost.
at least until a little bit later.
Good eyes. She loved her daddy. They were kissers. Young kissers. Dale and my daddy.
I think you're anxious. You're anxious. You know they're in an inner
The wrong
sanctum
place.
here, yeah, and they could be found out.
Yeah, well, there was always that feeling, and I think he knows he shouldn't be in this room. He shouldn't be part of anything that's happening here. That's why she's the predator, the manipulator. She's the one in charge. Look at this. She's
Brings her lipstick with her.
yeah.
And our baby's
Uh-oh.
coming.
And then, and the light.
No!
The colour is so sickly in that.
Yeah, yeah. No. I think it's brilliant. I think it was terrible at the Toronto Film Festival. At this point in the film, we're just in it's building up. The moment when she grabs Jeliza-Rose, the house lights came up,
Yeah.
and then they stayed half up, and then they went further up. And it's like at the most this terribly dramatic, powerful moment. The audience is being distracted, and then we heard footsteps in the distance, and the lights went back down.
Well, the projectionist was really on the ball, wasn't he?
Yeah. But it's horrible, not in the way horror films go. It's horrible by these characters, one guilty, one being thrown to the floor, one playing with the other.
I don't think so. No. Ah! Now look at what you done. Look at what you done now. Ah, my boy. Dale's here. Dale's got
Well, there are too many secrets been told. This always gets a gasp and a laugh and
Yeah.
a horror. Bang.
It's the one moment that Mitch Cullin really hated us for.
Really?
Yeah, because he hadn't thought of it in the book.
Oh, that's right. He's going to rewrite the book and put it in, though.
Yeah. It seemed to need a bit of punctuation at this point. I think actually we changed this scene. We made Dell much more sympathetic at this point.
Well, yeah, absolutely, because she's much more monstrous all the way through in the book. But here, she gets a moment when it is.
And you've got to care for this woman. You've got to care for all these people. If you don't, then you've got the wrong DVD. Sorry, folks. Hope you're just renting.
She's got them all, Daddy.
I like the way he stays dad, though. You know, even dead and stuffed and all the rest of it. He's still dad to be told things to.
Well, who else could you talk to? All your dolls' heads are gone. You got only him.
I just wish something would happen in this film, you know.
No. There's still time.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think there'll be something interesting. I think what's interesting is this little girl, clearly, when her parents were alive, she probably spent all of her time on her own with her dolls playing. She had
Dolls and TV.
Yeah, that was it. And so whether he's alive or he's stuffed, it's not too much difference in her world.
We'll build a castle of crooked branches and flattened pennies. Eat meat and butter tarts and drink lemonade.
I mean, I think Mitch's words here are just wonderful.
Dream myself there too. If I shut my eyes, try hard enough, maybe I'll wake inside your dream.
Just a little girl with her dad and a big dream.
Oh, something happened.
That's action. Jesus. I think now this is probably, what if somebody's got a gun? Maybe that's when she discovers the gun under the bed.
At last, a gun.
Yeah.
There haven't been any guns in this film so far
I know.
at all.
I think that and the lack of car chases is really,
That's why, you see.
well, it's, yeah, but we actually were able to stay on budget because of that.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing in the end of film is if it stays on budget, not whether it's a good or a bad film.
Is that right? It just has to stay on budget.
Well, I've got a career to think about,
Oh,
Tony.
that's right, yeah. I
How
forgot.
else can I get
I
money for
forgot.
the next one?
I forgot.
I hope we're not ruining this scene for all
No,
the viewers right
It's
now.
a very sensitive scene, and you don't
I
want
know.
to disturb people. People should be allowed to just watch it in peace.
Yeah, I was actually lying in the grass. I think you'll see in the
Is that you
documentary.
there?
I was asleep in the grass during this because Nicola, this is difficult to light. A lot of lights in the distance, a lot of effects.
How many
There's-
days did it take?
No, we did it in one evening, but there's only so much a director can do. Where did this come in now? This is no longer a low-budget film. I think we're talking.
This is when you find out what went wrong, you see.
Yeah. You know, the extraordinary thing is, the guy who brought those cars was a guy named Billy Graham, or Bill Graham. So, I mean, Jesus has been very much part of this project on many levels. And we had to hoist these 5 real cars up on top of each other on this hilltop. It was a considerable feat.
I love this because this is the real world.
Suddenly,
Finally, she got
it's
to the
come
real
in.
world. Look
Yeah,
at it.
great. I need to go back to the house and
Exactly.
the stiff dad.
It's like any other battle zone, isn't it?
Yeah. No, this is we're watching television, movies again now. We're back into the real world.
At least Dickens is alive.
Yeah. It's a happy ending.
It is a happy ending.
Oh, I'm feeling good now.
Oh, good. Are you still
It
feeling
was,
good?
it was worth
Still feeling
sitting here for 2 hours. Oh,
good? Uh-oh.
What's
Something
happened?
got a bit wrong. It's not. He's not alive.
that's the wrong guy.
Why didn't you do that?
We
You see,
couldn't
why
afford
did you-
Brendan for the last day. The truth be known, this was what happened here. Let's be honest here, Tom.
Oh.
Yeah, we couldn't afford him. He suddenly got discovered by Hollywood.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Now, isn't this the doll voice?
Yes, not just the squirrel voice.
Squirrel voice.
Yeah, but
doll voice
she
in-
did all
in-
the dolls.
in,
She did all the dolls while we were
off-screen,
shooting,
yeah.
and she was brilliant. And we're coming back to a nice woman, a decent woman, who cares about children. But that apple, does that mean Snow White Witch?
I guess Dickens will come get
Is there something wrong here?
The apple that she's peeling, or
Oh,
the orange.
Well, it looked like an apple in the film.
Well,
there.
it was an apple again. There was a slight problem there. We couldn't afford.
Budget, yeah. Yeah, it was out of season. Oranges were in. But I think metaphorically it looked like an apple.
I think that's why it looked like an apple.
Now,
at
the
that
question
stage.
is Jeliza-Rose about to head off to a new and wonderful and decent and normal life? And is it going to be a better life, is the question. Or is she going to spend the rest of her life remembering these few days when life was so extraordinary and magical and amazing and terrifying and wonderful? What do you think?
It's difficult to say. I think we're going to go out with a big question.
Yep. Now, there is another thought. There is another thought that some of the members of the crew while we were shooting came up with was, you've noticed everybody around her seems to die. Mm-hmm. Is there a serial killer in this movie?
You mean at last a film we might want to sit and watch?
Yes, a genre picture here. Is she a serial killer, and is her next victim cuddling her right now?
Exactly. I think you're onto something. I think you're onto something now. I think it'll be Tideland 2 is what we really want to see.
Yeah.
Not
Seen
one.
and saw. No. Scene 3. I don't know what. But wait, there's a magical moment here. What is it? Are those just smuts? Embers?
Smuts?
Smuts or embers? Or
No,
are they?
I think they're back.
They're
I think our
back.
friends are back.
Uh-oh. See, and here she's got this wonderful lady cuddling her. And does she care?
No, she's just thinking about...
Yeah, fireflies.
She's
and her
thinking about
little
Tideland
friends.
2.
She just can't come to terms with reality.
And she's just wishing that Alfred Hitchcock had directed her all the time.
Because he would have been sensitive to a little girl's needs. Especially not a blonde.
Tideland 2 coming soon.
But this is magical here, isn't it? The fireflies coming into the eyes. But that was the fade out. When we did that fade out, it wasn't actually what I asked for, but it's much better.
Well, there's a lesson there, probably. Isn't
I think most of the crew learned in the course of making this film was best not to listen to the director. And that's why it is what it is. So I think safely, all the reviews that have blamed the director should be pointing their finger at the crew, I think.
The rest of us. I think you're right.
The others,
I think the
as we
others.
call them. I hope this has been some use to the people who have bought or rented the DVD.
I need to pee.
If the film was shorter, you wouldn't have had to be in this
Exactly.
terrible strait. Yeah. Is there anybody we didn't mention that deserves credit here? Well, they're coming up how they can
Coming
read.
up.
And I want to say that the Canadian crew was breathtakingly good. I arrived in Canada having to work with Canadians, fearful that they were all just going to be just nice people, because they were very nice. And I thought, they must be absolutely useless at their work. But no, they were incredible. They worked very hard. They were totally dedicated. We have to thank people in Regina, where we shot the film. Saskatchewan gave us money. They lured us there. And I'm very glad that I was able to go to Saskatchewan. We were in the Capel Valley, a magical place. Our finest, happiest hours were spent there. And to show that God was on our side, we had 3 weeks of shooting exteriors. We were terrified that the snow would arrive. The geese were leaving by the millions. We finished shooting, had a party, went to bed, woke up the next morning, and the valley was covered in 4 inches of snow. Proof positive that this has been handed down from a higher source.
The end.
The end.